feel like Black Ops 6 has gotten so much hate because of the hackers. That's the hard part. Like, they couldn't manage all the hackers, and that's just a story that we've been talking about ever since COD went to PC. I swear this year I've seen more hate on this game than any other COD since 2019. They have such an opportunity with ranked. I know I've pitched the idea about like the tournament style ranked. When it comes major time, to just throw all of us in, like, let's enter tournaments and try to mimic CDL matches. That'd be so much fun if you and I and two other people, let's join this tournament. It's a 12-team tournament, random people. You play this team for a best of 5 and then make the prize good at the end. They should make this as close to the CDL as they can, because if you're playing ranked, you're most likely watching the CDL. So you're trying to mimic these players and you want to be competitive. What's more competitive than being in an actual tournament where you can win stuff, win prizes that other people can't have? Dude, just have 4 separate playlists, one hardpoint, one search, one whatever the third game mode is, and then tournament. That's what it should be. If you want to play hardpoint, you want to practice respawn, you go join ranked hardpoint. You want to practice search, you jump into that playlist.
Yeah, if it was going to be a sequel to Black Ops 6, I'd be like,
it's going to be Black Ops 6.2.
That's what MW2 and MW3 were.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 218 of the COD Casuals. We're your host, Justin.
And I'm Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. It's a good day. I think last time I was talking to you, well, last episode, I had a cold. I knew it was coming. It did come. And now I'm on the recovery with it. I woke up this morning, was like, I could barely speak. I was like, So now I think I'm doing better now. So that's always a relief. I think every time I'm sick, I forget what it's like to not be sick.
Yeah.
To breathe normally and not be, coughing every 5 seconds. So yeah, I'm doing well. How about you, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, the weather today's beautiful. It's
Hell yeah.
60 plus.
Let's talk about it, bro.
Yeah. For the one guy that hates us talking about the weather.
Let's spend half an hour.
No. No, it's just amazing how your mood just changes just because it's sunny outside. Like, even though something annoying will happen, it's not as bad because it's sunny out for whatever reason. Like, I was texting you earlier that, hey, I might be late because I was going to pick up my grocery pickup, and I wasn't sure if I was going to catch traffic or whatever. Didn't hit traffic, obviously, but I went and got my groceries. I was at the stoplight, right? And on the oncoming lane is another lane that it usually turns green and they have an arrow, right? And then my light stays red, obviously, when they have a green arrow. But then there's a moment where that light, the arrow's gone, but it's still green, and then my light turns green.
Right.
So that happened, and this truck was coming, turned its blinker on. I had plenty of time to go, so I went. This guy tries flooring it to beat me, and also from his side, you're going down a hill, so you got to slow down pretty quick to take the turn. And I went, and he was like, "Dude, what the?" And looked at me, and I just looked at him with my sunglasses on. I was like, and just went. Normally that would piss me off bad, but I don't know. Sunny out, that guy was pissed. I don't give a.
You got the sunglasses on. You got the window rolled down.
Yeah, playing music.
You're like, dude, I don't really care.
Yeah.
No, dude, it definitely is a mood booster for sure. I had to flatline some kid in class today, but then I look out the window and I'm like, all's good, bro.
Yeah,
it's nice out. I can't stand leaving, especially during the winter when it's dark out, but now too when it's raining. Bro, we had snow here on Saturday.
I know.
What was that, bro? That pissed me off.
I got pictures of people from work that live up there. One guy he said that he got 9 inches of snow, and
that's crazy.
Pulled out the snowblower. I'm like, what in the world? It's mid-April.
Yeah, dude. I work on Saturdays, and I woke up at I don't even know, it was 6:30 or 7, and I hear the cars going by, and it sounds wet, and I'm like, oh no, dude, it's raining, this sucks. Yeah, and then I look out the window and I see the trees near me. I'm like, "What?" I was like,
Yeah,
"What is
yeah, yeah,
going on right now?"
yeah,
Yeah, again, mid-April, bro. It's so stupid. And then we
yeah,
get a day like this and it's beautiful out. It's like 65 or 70
yeah.
almost, and
Uh,
it's the
I'm
weather we're
hoping
looking
that
for.
I'm hoping this week is like the turn,
Yeah.
of into spring. But yeah, I woke up that Saturday. I looked outside. Like it was cold, and I just saw a frost, a layer of snow. I'm like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
And
Right.
then yeah, it was just cold all weekend. But yeah, now we're good. I think it is gonna be colder again the rest of the week, but it's not gonna be like 30s
Right.
again.
Yeah.
So
And I'm looking hopefully for next week because next week's my school vacation, buddy.
yeah.
So I'm looking and hoping that that week is going to be good.
Hmm.
Like I got my forecast pulled up. It says tomorrow is going to rain,
Hmm.
65% chance, but then the rest of the week is good. And that's all I care about,
Yeah.
you know. Like I especially too going on a vacation, I need to be going out on a high. I need to be walking
Yeah. Yeah.
outside like on Thursday since we don't have school because of Good Friday. I need to
Hmm.
walk out of school on Thursday and be like, yeah, we got a whole week off and the sun's beaming on me
Yeah.
and I'm ready. If it's piss and rain, I'm like, nah, dude, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and like speaking of feeling right, dude, we got more news to talk about, which I
Yes,
think
bro.
is probably the bulk of this episode. So people are probably tired of hearing about this. New Call of Duty news dropping out, but dude, Black Ops 7 got leaked ish. And it's I mean, I'm really surprised that they said Black Ops 7 because again, we haven't had a game like go back to back years like MW2 to MW3. And it sounds like Black Ops 7 is just Black Ops 6 again. And I don't know how I feel about that. Well, like I like the mechanics of the game, obviously. Like we talked about it, but the first thing I'm thinking about is what happened. Like why don't get me wrong, I like the Black Ops series, but what happened? Like why are we going back to back again?
Are you saying in the sense of like the other developers, like why aren't we
Yeah, yeah,
switching
yeah.
off?
Like what the heck happened?
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
yeah, tell me what happened. Is Treyarch just too prepared for like what's happening, or are they just being forced to put out their game now and be like, look, the other developers don't have enough time. Like they didn't have enough time to adapt this omni movement and get their game together for the next year or
That's
this
what
year.
I'd assume it is. I would only imagine that this Omni movement thing, I wonder if Omni movement was good or bad for the future of Call of Duty. Because in a sense, I think it's great. Just because it's, super fun to play with and especially in the CDL to watch. But for the other developers, now I guess there's a question of okay, do we stick with this movement or do we go and totally do something else? And then we're gonna have these weird years of there's gonna be Omni movement, then we're going back to standard movement or some, like I know Advanced Warfare 2 was teased at some point.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that Call of Duty wants to stick with one movement type. That way it can integrate with Warzone better. Like we saw that with Verdansk. They tried to make it, a bit more
Yeah, yeah.
comparable to what we have now instead of them being totally different. So I think it was good that they went with it. But if I had to guess, I think you're right. Probably the other developers just don't have enough time or they can't actually do it. And
Yeah, that
Treyarch's like, look, we got this. Let's make Black Ops 6 with better maps.
yeah, that's what I don't know what I'm wondering because when Verdansk launched again, apparently everyone's having a lot of fun. People are actually enjoying it a lot, which I'm glad about that because it's brought more people back playing COD again. But like I wonder if the other developers were, already in the process of making the game, which I'm sure they were, and then, you know, they had to introduce Omni movement into Warzone and then like obviously it's new in Black Ops 6 and these developers are like, "Wait, we didn't start developing it for this game and we don't have enough time to put it into this game for the launch of 25. So, you got to give us more time." And like I like Omni movement. It makes everything flow, but like you said, they talked about Advanced Warfare 2 at one point. Like this game's supposed to be futuristic. Like I don't think there's going to be jetpacks in Black Ops 7, but the Omni movement's going to be in there. Um, yeah, I don't know. It sounds like the other developers aren't ready, and each developer sounds like, no, we got to do this. No, we got to do this because of Warzone. Where I'm like, well, if you just get rid of Warzone, each developer can do whatever they want and just go back to what it was before.
Yeah, I wonder if there is this tug of war like you're talking about of they all want to think a certain way and make a certain Call of Duty that's different from Black Ops 6 like we've always had, or they're getting pressure from Activision to try to have it be a bit more streamlined. That way, like I said earlier, that Warzone and multiplayer are just a bit more streamlined. Um, and if that's the case, I'd really hate it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I don't get me wrong, I like Omni movement and I like the feeling of Black Ops 6. I think it's great, but man, I'll get really bored of it if that's all we're doing for the next foreseeable future. I don't know how many years that would be. If they
Mm-hmm.
found out like, oh, this is the best movement type, we love this, we're gonna go and just stick with this, and then everyone's gonna give their little flavor of it. I like it where we go from World War II, and then we go to boots on the ground, and then we're going or we're going to jetpacks. Like we're just jumping all over the place. For me, I like that. It keeps it
Mm-hmm.
fresh every year. Having the same movement type all the time, I think would just get boring.
Yeah, this is when the argument, people that hate COD say COD's the same every year. That's when it would really be, the same every year if the movement's actually the same. Because if it's boots on the ground, anybody that plays COD knows that, yeah, it is boots on the ground, but the movement is always slightly different. And the only exception was from MW2 to MW3. It was just faster. And then supposedly this game too. But like if they keep streamlining Warzone, which I'd imagine that's what they're trying to do, right? Uh I don't think jetpacks will ever return because you're just gonna make Warzone like have jetpacks? Like are there gonna be exosuits you could just pick up and
Right.
now you just got jetpacks or whatever? I don't see that happening because anytime you change the movement in the main game, they're gonna have to change it in Warzone. Where if you still want Warzone and just keep it completely separate, that's totally fine. I think that'd be great if you have Warzone free to play, do whatever you want on that, and then you keep multiplayer and the campaign and all of that completely separate. You don't need to completely mash these two together. You can have two different communities, but all in one, Call of Duty umbrella.
Right. I agree with that. I think that would just be better overall. It would help the game and the community from feeling super stale. Um, I know there's people that like multiplayer, of course, and then the people who prefer Warzone, but the people that move in between, they do it for that reason, just because those game modes themselves are diverse. Um, you know, and I think if you had different, movement types for them, I think that would be even more fun, because it would feel like you're getting two different games, for the price of one, basically. Um, but my question or my thought is with it, think about like the movement from MW2 or MW3, but they just put Omni movement on that. I would think that that'd be fun. I didn't hate the movement in those games so much. I thought it was fine, but they definitely feel different than this game.
Mhm.
Um, so if they went down the route of that, where they just kind of have their, signature movement, like you said, it could be heavier, it could be lighter, um, or just depending on how like overall like the Omni movement itself is. If it's really quick, if there's certain things you can do, can't do, um, that would that probably create enough diversity for me. Um, but I worry now just with this Treyarch back to back
Mhm.
because Treyarch like this game to me feels a lot like Cold War, which I loved. But the time from Cold War to Black Ops 6, it's been a while, so I like it. But going from this game now and liking it, and then having to go to another year of it, I don't know how I'd feel. I think I'd probably be like relieved to know the COD's not going to be trash, but I
Yeah.
wonder if there's going to be a part of me that I'm like, man, I wish it was something a little bit different.
Yeah. And I think where they can make it different is obviously the maps and, the weapons and whatever, but I think the movement probably will stay the same. They're just gonna tweak it a little bit. Like if they can get rid of like just tax sprint in general. Again, I'm just gonna say that every single COD until it's gone forever. Then that's different enough, and it should just be like that anyways. Um, but yeah, like I am happy that it is Treyarch again. It would have been way better though if Black Ops 6 was like the best Call of Duty game like right now. Everyone's playing it and you know, everyone's enjoying it and then they say, "Oh, Black Ops 7's coming out this year and it's going to be the same, same Treyarch, same type of thing." But I feel like Black Ops 6 has gotten so much hate because just of the hackers mainly. And that's a hard part. Like I think Black Ops 6 was it was released at a normal time, but they couldn't manage all the hackers. And that's just a story that we've been talking about ever since COD went to PC. So it tarnishes Black Ops 6 a lot, I think, because I swear this year I've seen more hate on this game than any other COD since like 2019, since the
Oh
C-Lab.
yeah, no, no doubt, no doubt. This game has it's gotten way more hate, and I think a lot of it just has been because of the hacking, which is definitely a main point in the game. I still don't know how much that's really been fixed. I know there was a bunch of Charlie Intel tweets that went out weeks ago that they were talking about certain things they were going to be fixing, but I haven't played rank play since then, so I really don't know how
Mhm.
much the experience has changed. But I don't see a ton of people playing when I go on Twitch, so I don't really know. I think most people have just gone on to Verdansk, and Activision's just banking on that and not really worrying about rank play at the current time, because they're just making all their money and most of their player base is over there. But yeah, it is still unnecessary. The game does get way more hate than it should. It's definitely one of the better ones that we've had in recent years, but it does have its issues. And if they're going to go into Black Ops 7 and they don't fix some of those things, uh, I think that game is going to be kind of doomed from the start. I mean, there's a lot of stuff
Mhm.
that they should and can learn from how they did in this game. Um, obviously the maps was a big problem that people didn't like, just the quality of them. I don't know how you really fix that other than, people saying just make better maps. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely with the rank play situation, I mean, they need to delay that a long time. They need to be absolutely sure before they put stuff out like that.
Mhm.
Because honestly, that's one of the main criticisms that I think this game garners, and for the right reason.
Yeah, I mean, or you just get rid of PC altogether somehow,
Right.
or they have some anti cheat, whatever it is. Like I don't know. We've been talking about anti cheat for years now, and it. I mean, it's working, but it's not working fast enough to the point where again they banned 10,000, 20,000 more hackers like spawn up. But yeah, I wonder if Treyarch is ready, I guess, to release this upcoming game, like to the point where they want it to be, or if it's more, hey, Activision's telling Treyarch, we need to hit this deadline. It needs to come out at this time. So
Right.
get the game to where it's playable and polished enough so it comes out at this time. Or if Treyarch's like, we're putting out a product that is not ready in our eyes to be out, but it's playable.
Right.
Which again, they probably have no control of that, obviously. But I'd imagine that if you love developing games, you probably don't want to put out a product until it's complete in your eyes. And when it comes to ranked, I feel like ranked was completely rushed. And, the whole debate of should ranked be released early or should it be delayed? And no matter what, I'm always on the side of it needs to be released early. But the problem is it needs to be released early with some anti-cheat or some protection on cheaters. Because when all the hackers and stuff happened in ranked, and a bunch of these streamers were like, maybe they should have delayed ranked like we do. I'm like, are we really talking about this again? We're complaining about how it's so boring from launch to the end of the year, And then we get ranked in like January and February, and the player base has either left or they came back for ranked. Like, how about you just make a good ranked play system?
Yeah, it's hard because I take that side as well with COD, where it rank play needs to come out, almost as soon as it possibly can. I mean, if it came with the launch of the game, that'd be great. But like this game obviously showed that that doesn't matter.
Mhm,
Even though it came out early, the experience was terrible, and no one will forget that. That's always gonna be something that people talk about with this game,
mhm,
and I know it's a tough comparison, but it's the same thing I think about with GTA 5. Like when that game came out, I remember they teased online heists or just online in general, and everyone was excited for it. And then what was it? Months, right?
mhm,
Like not like 1 or 2 months. Like I remember it being way longer
mhm.
until they finally put it out. And people were all just waiting, like, dude, can they do this? Can they finally put it out? But when it came out, it banged. You know,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
it was perfect,
Well,
and
I
it's like,
think
you gotta find that sweet spot of, do you wait a little bit and have it be really good, or do you rush it and you make it you take the chance on it maybe not being as good as you want, and maybe people don't like it.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think the difference is, like, when GTA 5 Online came out, I mean, everyone had a lot of fun, but there were a bunch of, like, server issues, and, I remember when joining online and you created your character and stuff, and then you signed off, next day, you go back on, your character's gone. You have to just keep remaking your character because they didn't have the ability to save your profile until, like, weeks later.
Right.
But I think the difference with GTA is that they have the infrastructure like ready, and they'll delay and take the time to do it when Activision, Treyarch, whatever, like they're not doing that. Probably more Activision. They're like, we need to get this out, so let's get it out, even though they don't have the guardrails for it. And two, it's like GTA's for it's not competitive. It's more like having fun with your friends.
Right.
Whereas, Call of Duty, we are trying to make it competitive. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think it should be released early, but more importantly, it should be released when the CDL starts. And it should be released when the CDL starts without hackers and things like that. But also, I'm on the side of the CDL season should start earlier because these get pros are already playing the game anyway. So you might as well just start it up like, as soon as you can. And I'm sure the pros would much rather like that too, because then you get a longer season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they should coincide more closer with each other regarding the dates, because like I said, there's such a long gap from when rank play gets released to when the season starts. Um, but who knows if they're going to fix that or change that? You
Mhm.
know, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people that would be bitching about it for one reason or the next as to not do that. You know,
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's the hackers. That's what it is, right? Like if we spawn into rank the first day, we get a couple wins, and then after that, rank decides, oh, you guys should be playing with these players, and then we're joining hackers immediately. No one's gonna like that experience,
yeah,
and and
yeah,
I
no,
I
it's
wouldn't either.
no, I mean, and again, we haven't had it much, thankfully, but yeah, dude, that's just the whole problem with PC, and that it just opens that up.
Mhm.
And again, what are they going to do? Like, are they really going to go and get rid of those people? No,
No,
of
yeah,
course not.
that's
There's too much money to be made there, so
yeah.
they're not even going to bother with it. But it is unfortunate for the other people that they end up ruining it for everybody.
Mhm. Yeah, there's no easy solution for this. I guess the only thing that they can do is when they release ranked, they need to have the crossplay option to turn on and off because that will reduce the amount of hackers. But again, it'd just be nicer if there were no hackers at all, or like
Right?
I don't know, your PC just gets locked out or something. Like
Yeah, right.
these hackers need to learn.
Or like we said too, with the PCs blowing up,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
needs to
something like
happen
that.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
you can't buy COD or you
Yeah.
can't play COD that entire year.
Yeah, that's it, right?
You gotta wait till
Fr
next year.
freeze your bank accounts, everything for that one purchase. They're like, "Nope, no chance it's
Yeah.
happening."
Uh,
But yeah, really quick though, I think too with ranked, like I've seen people talk about it needing to be changed, like the way that it goes, because it does feel a little stale from year to year. I don't really agree with that. I think like if you have a solid foundation for a rank play system, that it should work across the board. And really have the variation of Call of Duty, the game itself, be what kind of, propels you into wanting to play ranked play again because the game's different enough you want to get through the system. I don't really know that much of, additions that you can make to a ranked play system like from what they already have. I mean, maybe there's people out there who, play other games that know way more about it. But to me, everything that rank play offers seems very valid, other than I would guess rewards. That'd be the only thing. I'd want more rewards for what I do. But
Mhm. Yeah, and like I'm sure people that play Siege and uh, Valorant or League of Legends, like their whole rank system is different, obviously compared to COD. But I agree,
right.
like COD is it's heavily casuals based. So if you want casual players to get introduced into ranked, you need to introduce them slowly into ranked. You can't make it too complicated. But yeah, I mean, I can think of things like off the top of my head that they can improve, but it's not like changing the whole foundation of ranked. I think, like you said, at the end of the day, what makes ranked good is whatever foundation they have, and then Call of Duty itself. Like if it's a good COD, it'll be good. And the maps. Like you gotta freshen it up every single season. Like start throwing stuff in. You can't be playing the same 4 5 maps, and 2 of those are gonna get vetoed out immediately every single time. So you're only playing 3 for like hours a day. You're just grinding the same couple maps, and they're not even like good. They're just all right.
And you ain't even playing Search and Destroy because it
Yeah.
ain't ever coming up in the
Yeah.
rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they, they again throw in a bunch of maps. Just give us so much content that it overwhelms us.
right.
That's what
I
I
mean,
want.
yeah, I mean, there definitely does come into the point of, quality over quantity, but dude, they got fucking AI now, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, make some stuff. Let's put this AI to use and give us way more than what we're getting. Because like so we said, I think maybe last episode or one before that, like with season 3 stuff, same thing. It's like, dude, give us some AI stuff. Come on. Like instead
Yeah.
of giving
Just
us like this calling charge with like, 9 fingers or something. But man, just need new stuff all the time. And especially with rank play, the amount that you play, I just think you should get way more. You should get more, just cooler stuff. Every time I see the rewards that you get, most of the time I'm let down. I'm never
mhm.
really hyped on them. And the ones that I am hyped on, it's like, oh yeah, be, top 250. Like, bro,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not
Well,
happening. All right.
they have such an opportunity with ranked. Like I know I've pitched the idea like episodes ago about like the tournament style ranked. When it comes major time, they have an opportunity to just throw all of us in. Like, let's enter tournaments and try to mimic, CDL matches. And instead of doing double limbs, like, because that's way too complicated, dude, one and dones. Like, that'd be so much fun if you and I and 2 other people were like, all right, yo, let's join this tournament. It's a 12 team tournament, random people. You play this team for a best of 5, and we do the same thing. And that might take hours. And if that takes hours, that's whatever. Cause we're probably like having fun. We're like, dude, we're in the semis. Like, we're going to get to finals. Like, this is going to be awesome. And if it's one and done's, it'll go relatively quick. But, and if teams leave, they forfeit. It's whatever. And then make the prize good at the end. Like, they should make this as close to the CDL as they can. Because if you're playing ranked, you're most likely watching the CDL. So you're trying to mimic these players and you want to be competitive. What's more competitive than being in an actual tournament where you can win stuff? Win SR and win prizes that other people can't have.
Yeah, it's the same philosophy as like what the pros do, like doing the pro eights or money, anything like that you see on Twitch all the time, like when they're scrimming.
Hmm.
And they're just doing it on the fly, you know,
Yeah, private
just
matches.
rotating
Yeah,
exactly, just in private matches. It would be so nice for them too, like the pros, if they had a dedicated thing in the game to be able to go and simulate that. Um, but yeah, for us too, it would be so much fun. Everybody who plays and is competitive about it, like you said, most of them watch the CDL. They want to go and experience that any way that they can. So having the game do that and giving again good incentives for why you would do that. It's not like if you get second place, you get nothing. You
Yeah.
know, they should still give you rewards for it. And of course, the SR bonus. I think a lot of people would want to go and do something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, but again, I just don't, I don't know. I don't know if any other, like, other, FPSs do that. Yeah, if they have a rank play system where they do try to copy what the pros do, but,
Hmm.
man, they should do it.
They,
I don't see
yeah,
why no one's capitalized on that. I feel like I would have
they
heard of it.
they have the capability of doing it. Like they can do
Oh,
it.
no doubt,
I mean,
no doubt.
dude, just have four separate playlists: one hard point, one search, one whatever the third game mode is, and then tournament. That's what it should be. If you want to play hardpoint, you want to practice respawn, you go join ranked hardpoint. You want to practice search, you jump into that playlist. And then when you guys are all warmed up and you're like, okay, this tournament could be an hour and a half, or this tournament could be like 4 or 5 hours, depending how like if every single series goes to round
Game
11.
5, yeah.
Yeah, game five. Like, but that'd be cool because if you finished your like your series, you can sit and like, watch all the other games. I don't understand why that's a thing. And I mean, this would be bad for like CMG and like all the places that run private matches. But the thing with those third party websites, they can do it and you're allowed to bet money. Obviously, in COD, like if they actually implemented this, you're not gonna be able to bet real money. So I don't think it would take away people from there, but it would capture a lot of casual players in that. Like that'd be so much fun. Like
Yeah, big
I'd
time.
be in ranked all the time if I had a chance to just sit in the tournament and be like, okay, I'm gonna be an onliner. Like I'm not on LAN, but if I clutched a round 11, 1v1, game five, I'm freaking out at my desk to move on to the
Yeah.
grand final.
No, exactly. I mean, that's what we're all looking for. A lot of people want to have that experience. So if they could set something like that up, it would be great. Yeah, that definitely something on the list that I wish would happen. And it doesn't
They
seem
do
that
that.
difficult either.
Yeah.
It really doesn't seem that hard to try
Hmm.
to pull that off because it's the same thing like we had with Champion Hill and in Cold War, I believe, with the tournaments that they had. You
As
know,
a
I'm
Vanguard.
sure there's
Oh, no, it's Cold War. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's people out there who would be listening and thinking, "Oh man, that's just you got all these people sitting and idling and waiting." Bro, first off, that's what they do in the real world, like when the pros are
Mhm,
playing. And second off, we've already done that in all the other modes. Like you could sit and watch in Champ Hill or in the other ones.
mhm.
I remember in Cold War, that we would go and absolutely smoke a team, and then the other match that's going on, or two matches that are going on, rather, we have to wait for them. You know,
Yeah,
and it's like it is
and
what it is. If you want to leave, go ahead. If you're strapped for time, you're not going to win, but
yeah,
like you go into those things knowing that that's what it is. It's, okay, this is a
mhm,
commitment. Like I'm not going to
yeah,
be in this match for 10 minutes. Like we're going to lock in. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to be playing for a
mhm,
few hours here.
yeah, and thing is, like, if you're already playing a ranked system like that, you're gonna be sitting there for a while. Like,
Hmm.
we don't hop in and just, play one ranked game, get shit on, and then, "Alright, we're on.
All
I'm
right, we're done.
signing off." Yeah,
Yeah.
like, no one playing ranked does that. So, look, Activision, Treyarch, if you're listening, just give us some credit. That's it. That's all I want for
One
this.
percent.
But
1%. That's what we
yeah,
want.
because it's such an easy thing to like copy and do. In terms of the work, I have no idea. I'm sure it's complicated, but like man, that would be so much fun for casual players. Like legit four options. Like it can't be that hard. Like hardpoint, search, third game mode, tournament ready. And then
Well,
just join and queue up.
and you think about it too, like we were talking about just with Black Ops 7 in general. I mean, that'd be a huge selling point of the game. If it
Mhm.
came out with something like that or was teased that they were going to be doing that,
Mhm.
That would definitely bring a lot of people in. Something else too that along with the game is relating to what we were talking about with freshness. I think this game, from what I saw before everything got deleted, is that it's going to be as a sequel to Black Ops 2. So it's
Mhm.
going to be futuristic. And then they said too it's going to be in Japan,
Mhm.
um, which for me begs questions of the story. Like, are we now getting a new storyline, or how are they going to be able to tie this in with what we just had in Black Ops
That's what's
6?
happening right now.
Um, right.
2025
Yeah,
in our
exactly.
economy.
It, right. It's just they're fighting the tariffs. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, I think stuff like that, hearing that that's going to be the setting of it, definitely does freshen it up, and it does make me. I mean, obviously, I was going to buy the game anyway, but that helps a lot too. When you have a
Mhm.
complete change in what the game's going to look like, um, but yeah, if it was going, it's like, oh, this is going to be a sequel to Black Ops 6, I'd be like, fuck,
Yeah.
like
It's
we're
gonna be
talking, it's going to be
Black
the
Ops
exact same.
6.2.
Right,
Yeah.
and again, that's what MW2 and
Mhm.
MW3 were. That's exactly what they
Yeah.
were. It was like, "Oh, we're getting the story right away," and you're like, "Oh, man." Like, we're not all of a sudden gonna be going to, like, a totally different movement set. It's gonna be slightly refined, so it's gonna
Mhm.
be a little bit better, which it was, but it was still the same game, but just with shittier multiplayer maps.
Yeah, exactly. And um, the thing that I was saying about, like, mimicking these tournaments and and all that stuff, this only works if there are no hackers. You eliminate hackers, because could you imagine sitting for, like,
Oh, forget it.
3
Forget it.
hours, and then you make it to grand finals, and then the people you play against, like, "Nah, fuck this, we're winning this." And then they turn on hacks or whatever.
The
Dude,
lag switch comes on.
they do,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But again, they need to somehow fix that, or if we're in that, we're turning off crossplay immediately. We're only playing console.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, or dude, you got to go and get 20 random people together and have like an actual LAN tournament to be able to pull it off.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it would be devastating. None of those things can work if they don't figure out what they're going to do with the hackers. I mean,
Mhm,
that's always going to be just a problem with online gaming and playing these games. But there needs to be some cushion where there's like a 99% chance you're not going to have to deal with that. But when you get all these top Twitch streamers and former pros and pros who are playing, and it's more than half of them. It's more like 99% of them are dealing with the same problems all the time. That's why they just don't play anymore. They give up because what's the point? If you have to deal with a
mhm.
hacker every once in a while, like yeah, it would be beyond frustrating in the moment. Um, and you'd probably say some things you don't want to say about the game, but that's a different look than tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, millions of people all complaining about the exact same thing that's always
Mhm.
going on in their games.
Yeah, exactly, and where's the integrity of these people, man? Like, integrity's just gone nowadays.
Oh yeah, dude. No, these people don't give a damn. There's
Yeah,
no morals. There's no morals. It's like I was just saying, dude. I was like, before we started, I had some prick went and took my debit card information. Where's the integrity? Where's the
yeah,
principle?
yeah,
I'm like, brother, come on, go get
yeah.
a job.
You
Go
these
do
people,
something with your
you
life.
you need a hack so bad just so then you can say you killed, like, simp,
Right, right. It,
okay?
it it makes no sense, and they somehow find that gratifying.
Yeah, yeah. Like, go do something else.
Yeah, and
Find
please
something
don't.
else better to do.
Right, and please don't play a game. Like I
Yeah,
just
yeah. No,
I don't want to
literally.
be dealing with them. But
But
yeah,
yeah, like,
it's going to be interesting news though to see what happens and as time goes on with Black Ops 7. I'm
mhm,
curious. I'm hopeful, but again, I'm just hoping that it's movement wise not so much like this game because I have a fear that I might get a little burnt out, but time
yeah.
will tell.
Yeah. Black Ops, again, I'm gonna trust Treyarch. I'll always trust Treyarch because no matter what people say, this game is fun. It's
This is true.
just the maps, you know? And that can be fixed. That definitely can be fixed. They have the movement locked down. Um, but yeah, I hope this just isn't a Black Ops 6 2.0. That's what I'm afraid of. But like you said, with the futuristic Japan like setting and the fact that they're going back to Black Ops 2, I guess, is a good sign that it's relatively different, you know? I just hope I don't spawn in and it looks just like Black Ops 6 for
Yeah.
whatever, you know. But if they speed up the omni movement somehow, like even faster, or they get rid of like I don't know some things that you can manipulate. Can't think of stuff right now, like the diving back and forth, like people that get that do it so quick. Maybe you slow that down, whatever, something like that. But I'm hopeful for Black Ops 7. Got to see more, obviously. The game will be out this year, and it's kind of crazy to think about that we'll have another COD and it's another Treyarch one. But Treyarch can do it. They definitely
They're
can do it.
they're the ones that we have the most faith in always, you know. I have
Yeah.
my skepticism, but like I did with Black Ops 6 and it turned out great. Minus all the shit that we just complained about, but
Yeah. The
overall it turned
hacker
out great.
tech. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they fix that, and I'm hopeful. I think we'll be in for a good year. I do like the setting change. I do think that'll be fun. Going to
Mhm.
a more like modern or like you said, futuristic approach. I
Yeah.
like that in general. I like
Uh,
that always. Like I like the advanced movement in the older titles. Um, we haven't really had that, but again, are they going to do jetpacks and stuff? I mean, who knows? Probably not.
yeah. I mean,
Could you
probably not.
imagine?
That'd be crazy. But I'm sure it's probably going to be boots on the ground again. But my hope is when I think futuristic, the last futuristic like COD we had was BO4. Could you imagine BO4 style and coloring and like art style with
I
this
know.
movement? I want that. I want bright maps with weapons like that. I mean, those are like futuristic weapons ish, but they're very modern too at the same
Right.
time. I don't know how to explain it, but give me a Black Ops 4 with Omni movement like that. That would be insane.
Yeah, dude. Black Ops 4, I mean, man, like one of the best games ever, honestly.
Mhm.
I think it's one of the best CODs that we've had. Um, and that movement was so nice. Yeah, that game with Omni movement, if that's what Black Ops 7 was, I would be all over it. I think it would be
Yeah.
such a sick game. And again, like I said too, the whole look of it too was a big part. All the colors and how vibrant it was.
Mhm.
Um, it definitely brightened that game up and made you, I don't know, just maybe enjoy it a lot more than like the really dull drab colors that we got later on. And that's
Mhm.
kind of weird to say about with colors, but it definitely has
No,
an
it's just
effect on you, bro.
it's like the weather, dude.
Yeah,
The
straight up.
the but yeah, no, when I think Japan, I think of like the bright lights, all the neon color lights. So I'm like, make these maps really bright and
Right.
just that style. So, Black Ops 7, it's gonna come here like really quick.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
talking about it in like a couple months, but it's just gonna, happen like out of nowhere. Um, but then yeah, so on top of Black Ops 7, Verdansk came out, and both of us were saying, well, hopefully Verdansk comes out and people don't get tired of it right away. As of right now, it seems like people are enjoying it a lot, which does make me happy. Haven't played it, probably will never play it to be honest, because I don't care
No.
about Warzone. Um, unless you, me, and like two other people like randomly decide to hop on, they're like, let's just play this and like have some fun. Then sure, but I I'm just not a Warzone person.
No, I'm not either. I mean, again, if that situation comes up, maybe.
Mhm.
But to what I was saying earlier, that's what most people have been playing. I mean, there were people that were playing rank play or trying to get back into it, but most of the big people, like the main guy I think of right now, it comes to mind is Nade Shot,
Mhm.
and Scump. They've been loving Verdansk,
Mhm.
which is just good to see. It's nice to see that Call of Duty is getting some high praise and people are actually giving flowers to it. Because I feel like over the past year since this game came out, everything's just been terrible. Everyone's been hating
Yeah.
on Warzone. Everyone's been hating on multiplayer. So now there's something that they can be proud of. And it seems to, from what I've seen online, that Activision, they obviously understand this, that it's doing really well. And they're putting out a lot of stuff and trying to make changes as quick as they can so they can keep the player base up that they have, which
Mhm.
is nice to see. I just wish they would do that for us too.
Yeah, for yeah. Switch your mic, by the way.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's
My it had to go and reset and reset. There
yeah,
we go.
no,
That's
you're good.
better now.
That's yeah, that's better. Other time wasn't bad. It was just a little muffled, but no, yeah, with Verdansk coming back, I'm just again, I'm glad that people are satisfied with it. How long they're going to be satisfied, we'll see. People might be unhappy with it after like a month, maybe two, and like I think that's just nature though. Like if you've already had something and you experienced all the good times on that, you're never going to mimic that again truly to the same extent. And I think people are gonna get tired of Verdansk again. Like I've had friends text me like, "Yo, Verdansk is back. Are we hopping on and playing?" I'm like, "Dude, yeah, sure. I'll hop on and play. We're probably gonna play for like 2, 3 days in a row, and then like we're bored again. Like you can never replicate that. Like, how can I be playing for 8+ hours a day, like every day, wanting to hop on and play with my friends? To wow, this is the same exact map, but it's not the same feeling anymore. Like,
Yeah, there's definitely an element of that. I think for the people that play it on Twitch or just people one who have like a whole squad that they're playing with, that obviously extends the longevity of it
mhm,
if you're playing with people. But to our point on rank play, dude, it's the same thing. I think you need to make changes or need stuff like an incentive to keep playing. Um, if they just don't touch it and it's really good right now, like, yeah, it'll stay there for a while. But then what happens if you don't do anything for 2 months or 3 months and you don't make any necessary changes or try to switch it up and keep things fresh? That's when people start complaining and then people want to go to, like Marvel Rivals. I mean, like that game right now, I know it's not an FPS, but how they're keeping people in there, dude. They're adding skins all the time. They're changing characters all the time. They're doing like new modes, new maps. They're doing stuff all the time to try to keep the experience feeling fresh. Um, and if they don't do that for Verdansk because they want to, keep the purity of it and hold on to that for a lot of people, then there's going to be the diehards that and the people that got a squad they're always playing with that'll stay. But then there'll be a lot of people who are just looking for a new experience and they got it with Verdansk and then they popped off really quick and said, nah, forget it,
yeah,
I'm all set.
yeah. I mean, and again, the diehards that love the game, you'll hit a point where, all right, I've done this. Like, I want something new, which is completely like fine. That I think that's just human nature. Like the good times, like you don't know when you were in the good times, you know,
Right.
and it's just gonna happen. Like you're gonna play your last game of Verdansk when it first came out, and like you didn't even know, and you thought Warzone was the future of Call of Duty, and look at where we now, and we're back at Verdansk again. Hopefully, saving COD to a point, or not saving COD. Hopefully, carrying COD until the end of the season, so Black Ops 7 comes out.
And I'm sure that's the hope, right?
Yeah.
That people continue to play this and want to play Black Ops 6, and then they tease the new game and people get excited for it. And on the Warzone side, who knows what they're going to go put out for Black Ops 7? But that's something I'm sure they're thinking about because that's going to be a huge selling point. There's a lot of people who, I mean, we saw it that people were excited and going to be buying Black Ops 6 because of Verdansk. Um, I don't know how many people that actually is because I think if you're playing Warzone, you're sticking to Warzone. You don't really give a damn about anything else. But if they bundle Black Ops 7 with some big Warzone announcement, um, that'll bring people in. That'll get them excited for the next game, and then they're kind of starting both at the same spot. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
this game's been going on for so long now. They probably
Hmm.
jump in and feel like they're hopeless.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you and I spawn into Warzone now, it'd be so different compared to
Oh my
what we
god.
played in 2019. Like,
Right, exactly. I'd have no idea
it's
what
so
to do. I'd
different.
be like, I'd be walking around. I'd be tweaking.
We just have to rely on our natural COD multiplayer skill. Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah, bro, I'd start playing that game like it's, like it's I don't even know, like it's red card. Like that's how I'd start
yeah.
playing Warzone. It'd be terrible. People would be
Yeah.
like, "Bro, why are you running around so much?"
Yeah, because we can't sit still.
Right, right.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, hopefully Verdansk like stays around just for the player base. Because yeah, we need more people on COD right now. Um, especially going to Black Ops 7. And hopefully Black Ops 7 is, you know, a really good COD, different enough from Black Ops 6. I like the setting of it. I hope they're not like, oh, this is Black Ops 2, basically. Nah, we don't want that either. Black Ops 2, great game. Game's over though. Like we need new stuff, just new everything. Um, so please, Treyarch, we believe in
Well,
you. Just
and I hope so too that it delivers on the CDL side, you know? I
Mhm,
would only imagine because, you know, most of the time when the games start up, after the games come out, you know, we're always excited for it, but I just hope it's a game that the pros like and could be proud of too.
mhm.
Um, because the more that I've watched what is it? The map that they play, Dealership,
Dealership.
you know,
Mhm,
like, they go and add that map in, and I'm hoping, like, they'll be excited about it because people like Red Card,
mhm.
and then what was the other map that they added back into the playlist that I'm
Rewind.
forgetting about? Yeah, Rewind,
Mhm.
like, they're happy about that, but now we're, like, getting some more maps in, and I'm like, "Oh, man," you know, "this would be nice for me as a viewer," which it is,
Yeah.
but for them, it's every time people are just hating on it, like, "Oh,
Mhm.
dude, this sucks, like, I hate playing this." And it pisses me off. I'm like, "Damn, dude. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to love this shit." You
Well,
know?
see that I mean, again, just coming from the viewer's perspective, like it sounded like Activision just or the CDL, like they just threw this map in. Like no
Right.
questions asked. Sorry to the pros. There's only a few of you, to be honest, in the world. You can deal with it. No
Right.
offense. We need like something to watch. And no matter
We
how
need something to
dude,
watch, bro.
no matter how much the map sucks, like I want to say at least like a good majority of them have to say this map sucks, but at least it's something different.
Right.
Like there's no way they like to play Protocol and fucking Vault. Like just for months in a
Straight.
row. There's no way. So
Yeah.
in dealership, I mean, again, from a viewer's perspective only, like the past couple series have been insane. Like watching dealership on LAN is going to be really fun to watch because it's a new
Yeah.
map. It's going to be fresh. Rewind is, yeah, we've already kind of seen it. So I'm not going to count that like really, but I hope they just keep adding more maps. Like CDL, just if a new map comes out, put it in. You don't need permission. Just throw it in, you know?
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what they should do. Because like you said, it just keeps everything, you know, more exciting. And just as a viewer, you're like, okay, now I get to watch something other than the other two maps that they've been playing since day one. Um, and I like too watching some of the matches. We don't talk about them too much, but some of the matches, I like seeing these teams play it because there's some teams that are really good at the new map at dealership, and then there's some that you can tell are still really struggling on it.
Mhm,
Um, and for me too, I haven't played that map yet in ranked, but I like watching it and seeing new things and seeing different teams play it and see how they play it differently from one another.
mhm.
Because there's a lot of spots on there that are really tricky or just odd things. Like I think it's one of the bomb sites on there for search is it's just like a very difficult site to hold down. You know, it's a super easy site to break, but it's hard to hold down. Um, and it's cool to see how other teams play that map. But I've seen Vault so many times, and that map just always plays the same way
Mhm,
that now I don't really give a damn about it. It's just there's a few times where you know there's a team that does something either really stupid or really ingenious, and it's cool to watch. But you know, I mean, how many hundreds of times have we seen that map? Like, I want to see
yeah,
something
yeah.
new. So
That's what
stealing
I'm saying.
dealership,
It's
that's what I
yeah,
enjoy. I'm like, thank God, it's something new. I have to think a little bit and actually
mhm.
pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, and I hope the pros are thinking the same thing too. Like, all the maps that we've seen, they've played so many times, and like you said, it's the same strategy every single map, on all of these
Right,
maps. They're doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's just who makes the least amount of mistakes on these maps at this point. Where
right,
dealership, we're seeing, all right, what teams are like learning this a lot faster than like the best teams. Like FaZe, like they don't look awful on the map, but clearly they lost, right? To Seattle, right? It was Seattle.
I
Yeah.
believe so, yeah.
Oh no, 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 it was Miami. Miami. They lost to
Yes, yeah,
Miami.
it was.
Yeah.
I got it pulled up right now.
Yeah. And Miami just picked up the map faster. Not saying FaZe is bad, but now I guarantee you FaZe is gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, we gotta copy what they're doing, you know?
Right,
And that's how you learn. And
right.
it makes for potential upsets and stuff like that for the viewers, right? And for the pros, I'm sure it sucks at times if the map is just completely like just god awful, but there's no way dealership is that bad compared to like other maps in the past. It's no way,
No,
like
no, there's no way.
so
No, again, it's always recency bias with
yeah,
that
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
dude. You
And
always know that.
yeah, and hot take, I'm sure, but CDL just throw maps in there for us to watch,
Anything?
like yeah, like the pros are pros for a reason. They're gonna learn and adapt and do it. If they're gonna complain, I'm sorry, like you're a professional. Like they can complain, but like they are the best in the world. They're gonna figure it out, you know?
Do you can imagine we get Nuketown Hardpoint?
Yeah. 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 Well, see, that's the thing though. You know the CDL isn't gonna do something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
they're
right,
not
right,
gonna
right.
throw fucking Santa Senya with all these cars. Like people are complaining about dealership in the cars. First off, it's a dealership. Second of all, that's not that many cars compared to like that map. The amount of like they're not gonna do that.
No. But it's also crazy that they didn't learn from that, though. I mean, maybe they did. I haven't actually, I take them back what I just said because when I've played dealership, I've never gotten, like, car bombed on there,
Mhm.
you know? But Santa Senya, before they went and
Yeah.
patched it, I mean, dude, it was that map was unplayable. It was the biggest joke of a map.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, and I'm with you on it. They should I wish they would just have more maps in general with this stuff because again, some of the peak times, like when I think even from last year with MW3, when they added in the new maps, it was so exciting to watch because other teams just, some teams were really good on
Mhm.
those. And it was also fresh for the viewer. With this, the game is so good, but we've just seen the same maps over and over again.
Mhm.
And they've added some maps in, but they're gonna either add them in, I think, into what is it after this qualifier? I think after Major 3, so Major 4,
Yeah.
we'll see some of them. I mean, bro, that's it.
That's the
Like,
last mate. Yeah, and then we got
that's
we got champs.
yeah, we got champs. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I wish we could have more off the rip,
Mhm.
or every major we get a new map coming in,
Mhm.
a map
Yeah.
or two. It would just keep things again more fresh for everybody.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the community is there because the viewers are there.
Yeah,
And I'm, like, definitely on the side of these pros, there's no way even if the map sucks, there has to be a part of all of them that is like, at least it's a new map. At least it's something different where they have to think more, you
yeah,
know? Like, it has to be like that. Um, so, yeah, like, they're probably gonna add a new map, hopefully, after Major 3, going to Major 4, but like you said, now you got last Major, then you got champs. Now, is it realistic to add like 1 to 2 maps after Major 4 going to champs? Probably not, because that's not enough time. Like that's just not
right,
fair. And then same with like EWC afterwards. So there isn't that much time to add new maps. If anything,
right.
it's going into Major 4, like that set of qualifiers in Major 4. Add like 3 maps. Fuck it.
Right. Yeah, that's the only time that you would, because to everything you said was correct. That would be their biggest point of contention if you went and added that stuff in so late. Yeah, it'd be fun for us to
Yeah.
watch, but they'd be bullshit. And I
Oh
would
yeah.
I would agree with
Yeah,
you.
I would
I would
agree.
agree.
I mean, like you would see freaking uh who's bought it? Like no, Miami's playing really well right now. What like
Vegas.
oh yeah, you see Vegas like somehow taking down FaZe, LA Thieves, Seattle
Yeah,
all in a row
just
and
playing spoiler.
yeah, playing spoiler on the brand new maps that they just added. and then it throws, the people that are in like 8th, 7th seed, they're like, "Yo, we've been consistent, somewhat consistent all year." They add these new maps. Now we're not making champs because of 2, 3 new maps that they added.
Right, right.
So, I guess we are casual players, but I do see how that is unfair.
Yeah, yeah. Now I wish it was something that they did. It is nice again to see dealership in there because of the matches that we had over the weekend. We don't really touch on them,
Yeah.
but like it was it was just nice seeing some new map in there.
Mhm.
I don't think it was. Oh, I don't think. I know it didn't have that much of an impact on how the game shaped up. I think what's really happened and what I'm really excited about is there's a lot of teams now that made changes and they were the right changes. Like Miami right now, bro, looks electric.
Yeah.
I mean, they look so good. Yeah, man, I'm pulling for Miami, bro. I want those guys to do so well. I love that team.
Mhm.
Like just the people on there. I think that's like one of the few teams. Them and like I was gonna say maybe Rocker, but I know people don't like Kenny. But that's like one of the few teams where like who do you hate on that team? How could you hate anybody
Yeah,
on
yeah.
there?
Well,
You know what I mean?
people hated Fickle because, uh, he he booed Optic or like,
Oh
threw
yeah,
up
I
the
remember. Yeah,
the 0-3
right, right,
stuff,
right,
but
right. I
no, like,
remember that.
to your point, like, Miami's this year, they've been, like, pretty consistent. If anything, like, they've just been right there, like, mid, but then
Yeah,
they get first rounded, like, right away, at the majors, but they're hanging in there, like, just enough, and they made the one switch that they needed to make, and now they look great on LAN on
right.
online. So,
Yeah,
we'll see how they do on LAN, but also on top of that, like, well, we can talk about, like, Falcons, Rocker, the 2 teams that everybody's been talking about because Optic got rid of Pred and Kenny. I feel bad for Kenny because they keep going map 5 and like, not him, but the entire team just keeps choking. Like, they're cursed right now for whatever reason. But seeing that team go to map 5, you're like, dude, they're doing this every time. If they close out, they're gonna look really good.
yeah. They always have. I remember on the flank they said it, and it was very true. They always have one player who's not playing up to their potential. It's
Mhm.
always one guy. You know, like I think in the last match that they played, where they went map 5, I think it was because I got to pulled up it. Let me go see really quick. I think it was Carolina. I
Yeah.
wanna
Yeah.
say it was them. Oh, no, no, my bad. I don't well, I could have been them, but it was also there was the Cloud9 game. One of them, I can't remember. I think it was the Cloud9 one because they got reverse swept
Oh,
on
it
that.
it
Um,
was Geo.
Geo,
Yeah.
Geo. Yeah, he was playing. I think he went like 0-6 or something like that in the search or 0-7. And they still won. And then I believe in the next couple of games, I mean, he just
I
wasn't
got
playing
reverse
as good.
swept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that one player. They're so close.
Mhm.
They could be if they actually closed out these matches. Um, yeah, that team looks way different on the standings, and people talk about them differently. But now
Mhm.
we're labeling them as choke artists.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, that's what Boston was at one
right?
point, right? But
Yeah.
and
Now we're
what
getting it together,
yeah.
thankfully.
Well, we'll see how they are on land. Like, I think that team will be surprising on land. Like, I think that
Yeah.
team will get better just going on land. And then Falcons, they got their first series win, and their first series win was against Optic. How poetic is that?
Okay. Okay. I gotta ask you this. Do you think that it's that big of a deal that Optic lost to Falcons? Do you
Nah,
think it?
no, not
I
really.
don't. Okay. Okay. Like
No.
there's probably Optic people or like the defenders and the haters, dude. I've been critical of that team. Dude, I don't really think it's that big of a deal that they lose to that team because that
Yeah,
team is
no,
still insane.
it's a
Like,
brand new team. Like,
if they
that's not
lost to the old version
yes,
of
yeah, yeah.
Falcons, they should be disgusted with
Yeah.
themselves. But this version, Xnid's obviously proven he's a good player, and now he's got legit 3 world champions, one's a multi around him.
Mhm,
People are that name, the Falcons, just has the negative connotation attached to it because of how awful their record is,
mhm.
you know?
And the other way around too, like how iconic Optic is. So, like, you always think Optic is top 3 no matter what.
Right.
But this year, they're struggling, and you gotta look at as a brand new roster against another brand new roster. Like that's what it is,
Right.
and yeah, I don't it's just optic haters and real and optic fans that aren't actually fans are like, we need to get rid of Dashy. We need to get rid of shots. We got to do something. I'm like, are you guys serious? There's no way that this recency
No,
bias is that bad. There's no fucking way.
they're bugging.
Yeah, dude, absolutely bugging. Like you said, okay, in any sport too, right? Like you look for that matchup where we'll use like the Patriots for example. We get rid of Tom Brady. When Tom Brady goes to the Bucks and then he comes back and plays the Patriots, like what do you think's gonna happen? Like all the all the fans are cheering for him and the redemption arc is on him. Like all eyes are on that player. Same with Pred. Pred got released from Optic. Like he's going into that team, like, even if he's good with all the players, like, I wanna beat these guys, and I'm going
Oh yeah,
dumb hard to
he's
beat
gonna
them.
annihilate them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like you said, you got Priesta, who's been playing way better now, like, significantly better on this team because the players around him. You got Arcedes, who was on phase and, like, came in the world champ, like, won a bunch of championships. How do like, I don't understand how people think this team is just god awful and beating Optic like, oh, Optic needs to make a change now because they lost to them. No, ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is ridiculous. I mean, look, Optics got serious problems. There's no doubt about it. That team is a complete disaster right now. I don't know what they're gonna do. But I really think that the loss to Falcons is just like a loss to any other team in the sense that they shouldn't be so like they're hard on themselves because it's got pred from their former team.
Mhm.
But man, regarding the quality, like people saying, "Oh, the Falcons, like that team," bro, everybody on that team is insane.
Mhm.
Like they're all you know legendary pros. And obviously, they have got a system that really works now. And then they've got XNID, who, I mean, dude, when he won that, I think it was the map two that
Yeah.
he won. I mean, bro, like you thought he won champs. I
Yeah.
mean, he he took his headset. I think he threw it down, and like you see the whole camera shake. I
Mhm.
was like, Jesus Christ! I mean, dude, that energy,
Mhm.
you can't beat that. And then you get into like the optic listening and all that, and they're just one guy top, one top.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, bro, you ain't competing with
Yeah.
someone like that
Like
who legit his whole life is on the line here. Pred's
mhm.
legacy and how he thinks is on the line. Um, yeah, you're not beating that.
Yeah, and dude, Optic knows they're playing they're not playing the standard that they expect themselves to be. They
Right.
expect to be a top team, which it imagine if FaZe struggled like this or Thieves struggled like this. Same thing. Like they built a roster to be at the top. And it comes with the name, right? Like if you're on that team with that logo, you are expected to be at the top no matter what. And this team, like, okay, big picture, right? They're not like god awful. They're just mid. They are very mid, and compared to like what they should be, it looks awful. Like they are better than LAG. They're better than those bottom teams, but they're not where like everybody puts them up to be. They should be a top 3 team that everyone expects based on the logo. But right now they're not. And any optic hater or any like fan that's not actually a real fan that's like, we need to make a change right now and do some like specifically Dashy and Shotzi, you're dumb. There's no way. You are absolutely dumb for trying to do that. Could you imagine them getting rid of Dashy or Shotzi? Then Dashy goes to like I don't like thieves
LA, yeah,
or
right,
like
right.
phase for whatever reason. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, those are players that you just can't drop them,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you have
Yeah.
to you have to kind of build around them. It's just a question of who they get around those guys. I think those
Mhm.
are definitely Shotzi, but Shotzi and Dashy, yeah, they're the non-negotiables
Yeah.
in that team, and it's going to be a long road for them to try to figure out how to bounce back from this. I don't really know what they do. I don't think they know what they should do. Um, but yeah, it does suck to see them still down where they are and where I think they're going to be for the future. Um, but on the flip side, it's good to see the boys in Boston doing well.
Oh,
Looks
they're
like we're
playing
getting some,
well.
you
I'm
know,
excited
yeah,
for this major because,
yeah.
dude, there's a very right now, like, there's a very good chance that the way the seating lines up, they can make it to a Sunday, and I'm confident that they can make it to a Sunday.
Right, because all that matters is, well, first, who we play in that winners,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
No,
that's gonna
yeah.
be a big thing.
And normally we're like a lower seed in the winners bracket, so that's why we keep getting matched up with like FaZe or LA Thieves. Right now, we're at a pretty
We're
high
2
seed.
yeah, we're 2 and 1,
Yeah. We're at a high seed right now. So
so 4th seed.
if we keep going into this, we might play like a Seattle or like a Miami or one of the lower tier teams in the rankings that make it into the bracket. That is doable. And I was telling you earlier that the fact that Boston didn't make a change and now they're playing, basically a bunch of brand new teams, right? Because a lot of them made changes and they're still beating them or hanging in with them. That's a good sign because that means that that core chemistry those four guys have, it's not going away just because you know other teams are shifting around.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I don't know, that it's weird because that's one of the few teams that didn't make a change, and I know we were worried about it. But yeah, they've just come through the other side here, and they've looked great so far. I mean, they had a weird match against Ultra, um, we talked about, but then they had their match against who was it? Let me go back here. I want to see if I can find it that they just played. LAG. That was the other one that they had had. Um,
They ran through
and
them as expected.
Y yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely, like, a weird game, it's a 3-1, but they should have beat them, like, way harder because I think some of those matches were, like, or some of the games rather were really close.
Hmm.
Yeah, the only one that they lost was to Rocker
Hmm.
when they lost, and that was same thing, was a game 5 that they barely won. I remember it was round 11 again.
Hmm.
So we're like right there, and we look really good. And I'm happy that we haven't made any changes. I'm sure you saw we can end on this because it was a bit of a sad note with our boy Reese Vivid, former Boston Breach,
Hmm.
is gone off the Carolina Royal Ravens. This was whack as hell, dude. Weird timing that they do this. And then did
Hmm.
you see when Carolina won and they did that interview?
Yeah, dude,
Dude,
that was a
that
whack.
was that was criminal.
That was yeah. That was whack questions. Like,
Yeah, and it was,
dude, if I
what Puckett asked that. He's like,
yeah,
"Alright, cut the chase. Why didn't you or how come you didn't get Kenny?" I'm like,
dude, and then
"Damn.
T's just like,
Oh, it's
we're
good.
we're
We're all good."
good, we're good, we're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, dude, as a player, like, that's like a question, one of those questions where you ask a player and you're like, did this person actually ask that?
Right,
So
right,
you want me to shit on my teammate,
right,
basically?
right.
And dude, I don't care who you are. Like, if your teammates already had the conversations about like dropping you potentially,
Ugh,
like, I'm sure Reese at this point, like, he knows, like, they all know it's a business. It's no hard feelings at the end of the day, but it's like, dude, you are slightly checked every time you're, playing a series together. You're like, damn, they want to drop. They thought about dropping me for another player.
right, and I saw that he, quote tweeted it saying that, "Oh, I kinda expected it because of my playing and everything."
Mhm.
There's 2 routes. You're like the route of, "Oh, fuck this, like, I don't
Yeah.
care," like, they already talked about it, and then there's the other person where, "Man, they're talking about dropping me. Man, I'm gonna really push it. I'm gonna show them that they shouldn't drop me."
Yeah.
Um, and they won the game, barely
Mhm.
though. I don't think it was a really close game, or no, it was a close game rather, but yeah, I'd have to look back at the stats. I don't really know how Vivid played on it. But point being, he is gone. I always hate seeing him go because I feel like the guy just never gets a full season in the CDL.
Mhm.
It's always, he doesn't start, then he gets picked up, or vice versa. So who knows what's going to happen with him? Uh, I don't really know if he's going to get picked up for the rest of the season. It would be kind of strange because most of these teams they're looking pretty good if they've already made some changes. Um, but Yeah, I think they're rumored to bring in Dylan Rex
Mhm.
is his name, who I've heard of him. I've seen him in like in Challenger stuff. I don't know if he's played in the pro leagues. Maybe you know if he
Dylan
did
Rex.
back in
Well,
like yeah, the CWL, did he?
I mean, I guess technically, like, he did. Because I mean,
Yeah.
back in the CWL, like, anyone could
Yeah,
play,
anyone. Yeah,
but
yeah, it
in
wasn't
the
really a league, yeah.
CWL, or not CDL,
The
like,
CDL.
no, he hasn't played. I mean, he's one of those top AMs that everyone's like, when is he gonna come in and, like, get his chance? And, maybe this is
There it
his
is.
chance, like, if this happens, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, it sucks seeing Vivid leave now, but at the end of the day, Carolina's probably doing the right thing to where we got to make a change now, so then we can get some points on the board to go into the major. Like, not ride this out until the major, and in hopes of, okay, we're gonna turn this around again with the same roster, and then end up getting like eliminated first round, and now you got to make a roster change and you're restarting again going into the major four qualifiers.
Yeah, absolutely. And to what we were saying before about the uncertainty of being dropped or like just that conversation being had, dude, once that happens, it's over, in my opinion. When the
Mm,
team is even talking about dropping you, um, you got to make a change,
mm,
whether he's playing great or not. Like the fact that you've been thinking that negatively about this
mm.
person at some point, um, I think you should really call it, especially when it comes to something like that. Uh, it's very tough to recover from that unless all of a sudden Vivid just becomes a god,
Yeah, yeah.
and has an insane takeover, which Vivid's just been known to not have that.
Mm. And
That's not really his play style.
like, to be fair, Vivid, I mean, he said it himself. Like, he hasn't been playing good in recent series. Like, he just
Yeah,
hasn't been. And he's an AR now. I think he's just so much better as a sub. Like, the switch to AR just it does not suit him, in my opinion. He was so much better as a sub. Like, he plays so quick, and his engagements are always so high as a sub. But yeah, that runs into the consistency thing where he'd be either popping off with the sub or he'd be going very, very negative and not helping out the team at all.
right,
But
right,
I think that play style suits him more than just being an AR on the team. But
right,
again,
and
you look at this team, you're like, you're really gonna make Tej or Gwyn an AR? Like, no, you're not gonna do that.
right. It's a matter of finding a team and a system that you fit into. And
Yeah.
right now, I don't think that there's many teams that he would fit into and that are also willing to make a change. So it is sad to see him go again in another season. But I think Carolina though made a mistake at the first place by not making a change when they were already thinking it. So now it's just odd timing that they do it after a
Mhm.
win and in the middle of the qualifiers. But uh, they obviously want to keep moving forward and not be losing any close series and trying to be competing with Vancouver. Um, like because they had that third spot. I mean, they
Mhm.
were clearly the third best team, and now they're dropping like a stone. So I hope it works out for them. I hope it was the right move, but we'll have to see this weekend. I don't know who they're playing, but yeah, that's going to be really just the tell.
Yeah, and my expectation, whoever they're playing, they're probably gonna lose just because it's a new team. Like, you're not
Oh,
gonna have
actually,
a
on hold on. Wait, are they even playing? Yeah, they are. Oh, yeah, they're wait. Is next Sunday? Yeah, it is. Damn, they're playing Thieves. Yeah, they're getting ran.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
they're
like,
getting they're getting ran.
brand
No
new team,
chance.
yeah. You just
Yeah.
gotta expect with a brand new team like that, the chemistry is not gonna be there, so,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Unless Dylan Rex is the next simp, and
yeah, yeah,
he's, you know,
yeah. Um, and then, like, quickly, the other team that didn't make a change was Cloud9, and we've said that this team's just such a weird team because everyone's
they
just like,
continue to be.
yeah, they continue to be. They're hot, like hot and cold team. The only person that's like consistent is Kremp, and he's trying to do everything that he can. Again, another former Boston Breach
Hmm.
player, founded from our Boston camp.
Yeah,
We're just producing stars over here,
star-studded talent.
dude. Um, but yeah, like he's the only one right now that's like heating up. Mac is
Right.
up and down. And Sib, same exact thing. When Sib is frying, he looks like one of the best players in the world. When he's not, dude's like he's shit.
Yeah, right.
And then attach, he's not playing good either. And that's probably because of the like, his team around him. Like it's a team game. It just it feels like when you're watching them on the map, Kremp is just playing at a speed that no one else can keep up with. And he's doing everything.
Yeah, they're a very weird team to watch. And I'm surprised they didn't make a change.
Mhm,
They definitely could. I'm sure there's a lot of talent out there that they could have gotten. And the thing for me, I mean, man, they're on the chopping block. Like, there's a lot of these teams that have to now think about the risk of not making it to champs, and they're definitely one of them.
mhm,
Um, and I think when you're in a situation like that, there's very, very few times where you just let it ride and you hope. I mean, dude, look at Optic.
mhm,
Like they're not even in the top three, and they've been over here making hella changes. Cloud9 is in real
mhm,
danger, and they've just been trying to ride the wave, being like, "Nope, we'll figure it out. We'll figure
mhm,
it out." Like Lamar believes in the team that much, and I commend him for doing that,
mhm.
for his friends and everything. But with the results, I mean, they speak for themselves, dude. There's got to
It's
be a point where you call it and you're like, okay,
mhm,
we can't keep doing this because now we're not going to make
mhm.
champs, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it's hard because, like, dude, Optic can get away with doing that right now because they had a cushion, like a decent cushion. That
Right.
cushion is getting very thin now with them, and with Cloud9, or no, sorry, not Cloud9, Optic, I'm sure you heard when that new team formed, they beat FaZe 7-1 in, like, scrims. They look great. Could be happening with C9 too, same thing, they're in scrims, they're just
Right.
frying, and then match time doesn't click. And I wanna clarify and point out too, when I said Sib is shit, he is not shit, he just looks like shit every now and then on that. Because I think Sib should come to Optic. Like, get rid of Skies. Sorry, Skies, I like Caesar, but I think Sib on Optic would change that team and make them way better right now. Like,
That's a fair play.
and I mean, it could have. Well, Optic said they're not making any more changes because of chemistry and stuff. But like,
We'll see.
if they're getting rid of Sib or like Mac, those two, I think teams have to take a chance on Sib.
For sure.
Like, I mean, he was
The
rumored to be an
potential.
Optic at one point, going
Yeah, the
into the
potential is
season.
insane with him.
Yeah, like you gotta try to get him. If it's Optic, if that's happening and Sib is gone, you got to take a chance. I would risk it.
Yeah, and again, it just comes down to them, Cloud9 making that move.
Mhm,
And I don't know if they're going to. If they make a move after Major 3, that's begs the question of, is it too little, too late? Who
mhm,
knows? But I think everyone can agree that that team needs to make a change.
mhm,
And Carolina points wise and everything is fine. They didn't really need to, but they clearly did. They
mhm,
were, they don't want to be where they're at. Cloud9 ain't no chance that they want to, but it's very strange to see them be complacent or just content with the team that they have
mhm,
and not trying to make a move. When we've had how many we're going to this major 3. I mean, we've had a long time to figure it
mhm.
out. If you don't got it figured out by this point, I think you got to pull trigger.
That's again with the format of this like league. It's unforgiving because you look
Right,
at this team on paper and you're like, this team's not that bad. Like the potential on this team, right? It's always the potential of the team, and then it's not clicking, and you don't want to give up some of these players, and then maybe you do, and then you
right.
look at oh look how Kenny and Pred are doing, and you're like shit. So do you ride it out and hope that the team does get better? Or do you say, we need to gamble and make a play now and guarantee uh possibly getting better, or guaranteeing a change, not possibly getting better. Like it could be worse if you do make a change, which I don't
I
think.
think you roll the dice.
Yeah, like
I think you do it.
yeah. I mean, I think it depends on certain teams, but and also players you get to.
Yeah, of course, you're gonna think about that,
Hmm.
who are we gonna put in their place? But the way they're going right now and the opportunity of making champs and getting better, that
Hmm.
window's closing. Um, I think you do anything you can to try to improve this team, and if you don't, if you make a change and it doesn't work out, well, we were doomed anyway
Yeah,
because
yeah,
here we are, major three, losing these matches. Like we should have this figured out,
hmm
you
yeah.
know.
I mean, I agree with that because like look at Falcons, but Falcons also just have like a mega bag and just they got one of the best subs in the world right away.
But to that point though, man, they went and put out a whole statement talking about how, the Saudi representation, they understand its importance and
Hmm.
all that. I mean, dude, they had a really good reason to keep that team together.
Hmm.
Because well, screw it. We're already out of champs anyway. We're not going to win. Let's just try to get better.
Hmm.
And let's make, if there are investors in that team, I have no idea, but that the fan base, keep them happy with all
Hmm.
these Saudi players. But they were like, nope, we can't do it. We're going to keep Exnid
Yeah.
because he's good, but we want to put together a team that's going to win.
Hmm.
And even still, it's kind of hope. It's kind of pointless for them to do it,
Hmm.
other than really planning for hopefully for next year,
Yeah, yeah.
and playing spoiler this year. But yeah, dude, you take a chance,
Hmm.
you make a move like that, it'll pay off. I think Cloud9 needs to make a move.
Yeah.
They
I
got to act.
I think they need to make a move. I don't know what move that is
No, I don't
because
either.
I think the Falcon situation is just like different, like you said. Like not every team's gonna be able to sign a player like Pred.
Right?
Like they
No,
essentially gave him a mega bag to lose. But like he's not playing at champs unless for some reason all the teams above them just decide to lose. Like uh not yet. Like Cloud9, they're not gonna be able to go and grab him or like
no,
yeah, like any big player right now. Cause technically they do have big players on the team. Like I'd imagine
yeah,
Attach and Sib are like the guys that they really invested in and it's
no
not
doubt.
working. So yeah, like I do think they need to make a change. I just don't know what that actual change is. Something's gotta happen though.
Yeah. I don't know what the change is either, but it's like again, I ain't the GM. I ain't in those circles,
Yeah.
but um I can
But if they
you
do
can
get
look
rid
at
of
the
Sib,
sport and you can
come
look
to
at the
Optic.
points.
I
Yeah.
yeah,
No, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For
If they get rid
sure.
of Sib, come to Optic. I think
I
Cloud9's making a very big mistake losing Sib, but I mean, it's what that team wants to do.
I think that's going to be a move after Black Ops 6.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to leave that team, and I think Optic will. I think they'd pay for him.
Mhm. Yeah.
If the opportunity, if he wanted to leave, I think they would try to snag him, and that would be the right move.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, with that note, we didn't talk too much about the CDL. We went off a little bit about it, but
Yeah,
um
yeah. There's a lot to talk about. It's good stuff.
yeah, good stuff. Black Ops 7 coming out this year, or a couple months technically.
Be hyped for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll be ready. Treyarch's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. No, it'll be
uh
good.
yeah. And what we got one more week, I think. One more week of qualifiers and then we got uh Major 3, I think.
Yes, I think so. So I'm gonna go look at this CDL here. So it's 25 champs, huh? When is? Let me see the schedule here. Then April 24th to the 27th is
Mhm.
Major 3. Man,
Yeah, so we
hold
got one.
on. Is that? Oh, dude, that's during my vacay. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
sweet.
that's
That's
next
next
that's the
week.
weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it starts next Thursday,
Yeah.
Thursday
So
into Sunday.
when you guys listen to this, qualifiers will already be over and the bracket will be locked in. And then this week, when this episode's out, Major 3 will happen. And I have a good feeling about Boston. I have a
I do
very good
too, bro.
feeling they're making
Me
it to
too.
Sunday.
I think it's gonna be their tournament. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, the bracket's
Well,
gonna look
yeah.
good.
Well,
So,
we'll make our prediction. We'll have them going all the way to grand finals, bro.
the last major they went and played LA Thieves. We were like, imagine Boston beats LA Thieves. Yeah,
And
no
then they
shot.
did.
And then
Yeah, I
they
know,
did.
right?
So,
So, so,
well,
dude, anything can happen. We'll see.
exactly. We'll see. But yeah, I think we covered everything. Black Ops 7, CDL stuff, and hopefully we get a good game going into the next year. But we got a couple months, so we'll continue talking about Black Ops 6. But yeah, so if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe over there. Let us know down below what you think of Black Ops 7, or if you think it's a good idea that it's going to be back to back with Black Ops 6, or it's a bad idea. Let us know if you want a new game or you're fine with getting another Black Ops 6. We're also on anchor.fm/the COD Casuals, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that. On Spotify, we leave a poll. So again, we're going to leave that question about Black Ops 7. If you do think it'll be a really good game or not a good game, let us know there. We're also on Instagram and TikTok. If you don't listen to the whole thing, we chop it up, put it over there. And 5-star ratings on all of our platforms
Always.
because it helps us out a ton. Make us the
Mhm.
best Call of Duty podcast, or at least top 10. I'll take top 10.
I'll take top 10.
But we're shooting for that number one, or
That coveted number
yeah,
spot.
that number
Yes.
one spot. Top 3, and we're not 2 or 3. So
Yeah, right, right.
um,
Cool.
but yeah, I think that's it. So
And that's it, man.
yeah, thank you everyone. This has been episode 218 of the COD Casuals. We're your host Justin,
And I'm Mike.
and we'll see you guys next week.
Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.